Hello, hello, hello. Today we are looking at Takahashi. Now we're starting out with the build because the build will really influence all the rest of the stats. So I'm going to highlight over the build for you to really kind of give you an idea of really how to play it. And for the last 2 points, you really can, it really depends. You can do what they recommend, or you can do Demolition Expert. So let's look at those stats real quick. We jump up to 53,000 for the health. The torp power goes up significantly to 24,000. Basically alpha damage. And that's a significant difference. So that right there kind of tells you where the main strength of the ship is at in the torpedoes. The downside is that when we look at this with the five turrets of triple 5 turrets of 150s, that's where it gets interesting. So let's look at that real quick for you. So without the economic boost or my personal merits, this is what it would really look like. So I'll take basically the amounts off. This is basically the build, main armaments, engine room, aiming systems, steering gears, concealment, and reload. Now you can do increased range until you can get the upgraded increased range, and then switch back if you have the credits. Otherwise, honestly, if you don't feel comfortable with the low range, you could easily do that. I think that would put you up to about 19 kilometers in range, so a significant difference. Again, consumables, you can choose between defensive fire or hydro, and that would give you 4 charges of defensive fire or hydro, 4 charges of fighter, 4 charges of heal, and then 4 charges of sub-surveillance. Modules, stock range is 15 kilometers, max is 16.5. That is very doable, so that's why you could do gun increase over, or gun reload over range, because these do have a high shell arc, and you do need to be wary of that. Armor layout, this is what I want to highlight for you. That's your Citadel. So it is above the waterline, and it is very easy to hit. So you will be crushed if you aren't careful. Torp power is really where the ship shines, is the ability to just slap ships with torps. But they are slow at 57 knots. They are very slow. That is a downside. That is a very huge downside. And really the build really influences that. It really does. The ship is hard. Yodo really is about the torps. I honestly would say, if you're going to run this ship, find the most funniest build you can that emphasizes the torps or whatever, and just go with it. Because I know Toxic Symphony has a really odd setup that he has a funny build on his, and he makes it work. I've seen him make it work. He did phenomenal on Defensive Newport. He was out there just destroying everything in the Yodo. So it really does depend on your play style. Speed-wise, 34.5 and a 7-second rudder shift. Again, she is a little on the rudder shift, so you do need that. Without it, you are going to suffer in those turns trying to get torps off. Concealment-wise, when we look at it again, that is the full build with Concealment Expert. It's 10 kilometers. But remember, these are 15-kilometer torps, so adequate range to use the torps. But watch the replay, and the replay will really show you how to play this ship. Because the replays show you more how to play these ships now than I can explain via stats and everything. How I play is really how to play the ship and maximize it. Because I've learned, by playing these ships constantly, I've been like, okay, this doesn't work, this works, this doesn't work. And I'm looking at it from, a standardized. Like, this is how you want to play it, basically. After that, you can kind of jump around and do whatever you want to do personally. Let's look at the replay and you'll see how the ship plays. Welcome back. We are in Takahashi. We have Team Garing, Jaeger, Brisbane, Alisas, Schlieffen, and a Libertad. Now I know I'm a lot behind on these ships as far as grinding goes. You know, I don't really like to grind as much, so I'm trying to grind as much as I can during the last flagship op, and I've kind of ground probably about 3 ships. Now, I can tell right there in them that the Libertad did have Lisboa, and I can tell that the Schlieffen didn't have his captain on there. Or he had everything turned off. So I'm thinking, okay, I know the Jaeger, I know the Libertad, I know the Schlieffen are going to be my main damage competitors. So I got to do something. But I'm also, you know, I only have 150mm guns, and everything is like torp-based. Like, all my damage is usually situated in my torps, but you know, as far as armor goes, this thing doesn't have any armor, so I can't really do anything, or I really can't be like, okay, what am I gonna do? Even though I've got 15-kilometer torpedoes, and they're kind of slow, they're on the slow side, but they do a hell of a lot of damage when they hit. And we get a fire on the Satsuma. Fortunately, it isn't fire damage, so we don't get the increased fire. It's all torpedo damage. You know, and the Jaeger does have Jersey Swirsky on there. Fortunately, you know, our fire is ticking, so we're getting a decent amount of damage on that Satsuma, but not a lot. I was kind of a little annoyed at the Brisbane for nuking that hipper because I wanted to farm it.
Reconnaissance reporting. Second attack launched. Enemy battleship sighted. Enemy destroyer detected.
Torpedoes to port. Attention. Destroy all enemy forces before the principal attack is launched and secure the carrier's retreat to the base.
Jaeger is going out there. Now, I want you to look at my torp reload. It's at 15 seconds, but we're going to pick up 2 more buffs. Down to 23, we're down basically 23 seconds. I don't know why the Brisbane didn't pick up that other one, though. Yeah, and I don't know why he didn't pick up that one. Now, again, we're going to try to at least get some fires on the Satsuma. But remember, 1 shell from the Satsuma, and I'm going to lose a hell of a lot of my health. So I'm also very scared. Brisbane picks it up, and we're down to 30-second reload. believe we still have one more we could get. Unfortunately, Jaeger goes way too close. And he's being shot at by the Kitakaze. His torps are gonna miss. He's dropped all of his, but he's lost over half his HP. And everything is shooting at him, basically. He will get a torp on the Kita. 2 torps, it looks like. But it's not enough to kill it. And he's got a permanent fire. He's trying to wiggle and waggle. I'm trying to save him, but truthfully, as I was playing this, part of me was hoping he would die. That way it would give me more damage for me. He takes a, looks like he takes the sap hit, and then the Kitakaze finishes him off. Unfortunately, our torps are not going to hit anything. Which is unfortunate because they were right on cue. Had we aimed better, we probably would have got a pretty good hit on that Satsuma. Unfortunately, everything is now on top of us. But we're still pretty full HP. We don't see anything, but we're going to take a gander and just be like, okay, just drop everything and just see what we hit. Unfortunately, the rune is shooting at us, so I have to be kind of careful now.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
I do pop my DCP because I want to get that torp tube out. And you don't really know if they're ever going to shoot it again, and you'll end up, losing it. Now I know there's going to be a few DDs out there, and I'm like, wait, is that going to hit? Is that going to hit? Is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? And it does hit. Yamagiri takes one. Unfortunately, he's shell-based, not torpedo-based, which is unfortunate. And Hindenburg looks like he is going to take a torp too. That's a permanent fire. And I'm like, is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? It hits! Oh!
This is Base Commander. All batteries restored successfully. Support ship returning to base. Problem solved, sir.
Now again, we're just throwing them out because, they might drive in them. You don't know. And also, they can really hurt me. So I gotta get some damage on these two before they start gunning me down. And I can tell that, okay, he is gonna take a torp. So I'm like, okay, switch to the other one.
Enemy destroyer blown up. Ship is on fire.
I need help.
I thought I needed help, but I honestly didn't, because I was like, I could kill this rune if I could get my torp up. Unfortunately, Brisbane would drop torps on that, but I will get most of the damage on the DD, which is all that matters. Now we've still got 2 health left, but from that whole third wave, you know, we lost basically 30,000 HP. We gained a ton of HP, gained a lot of damage, but still, it's not the best trade. So you do see how squishy this ship truly is.
Waiting instructions.
Reporting. Enemy cruisers entered the combat zone. They're chasing our aircraft carrier. Reconnaissance reporting. Principal attack is underway.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Now we do drop torps, and we're like, okay, we might get lucky, you don't know. Because they are going to drive into that. They are going to drive into 15 kilometers. So you might get lucky, you may not. You don't know. That's the DCPs. And I'm like, I'm not so much worried about those two in front of me. I'm worried about the Satsuma, because if the Satsuma turns its guns and shoots me, I won't live that. So that's why I'm constantly kind of keeping my eye on him. Get another double fire on Poison. And I get a torp on the Penamonte. And that is a permanent, or not a permanent, but a DCP. Now I can see that he is starting to turn his guns towards the fort. And that once that fort goes down, I'm going to be the target. Fortunately, I've got all my heals off, so I'm able to get some HP back. Get another fire on him. Unfortunately, he misses those torps, which could have really been useful. And Penamonte is going down.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
And that right there puts us over 500,000. DD comes into a range again. I'd say 10,000 HP to a DD is worth probably like 30,000 to a battleship. There's a significant difference in the XP. So 30,000 to a battleship versus 10,000 to a DD is a big difference in XP. And if you're in a bad match where you're overwhelmed like Cherry Blossom and you can't really do much, go for the DDs. That's what's going to give you the XP. So focusing that DD down gives me all that XP. Now I'm getting shot by the poison.
This is Base Commander. Aircraft carrier Lexington reached the base.
Now, I mean, I could have finished off the DD. I mean, I could have. And that salvo was kind of like where I'm kind of a little bit scared, because that was a 10k salvo to me. And that was no Citadel, too. That's a fire. That's a fire and a flood. Trying to see, maybe I can get another fire on it. But I can tell that his guns are looking at me now. And I got lucky there.
The ship is on fire.
Unfortunately, the Libertad secondaries did it. But we just barely managed to miss 600k. So 600k basically, a nice 4,300 and ship and free XP, and then a nice over half a million in credits. And with a blue booster, we made a nice 52k in ship XP on the grind. With being top of the team at 3271, beating out a Libertad with Lisboa and a Brisbane and a Schlieffen. Mostly the Schlieffen and the Libertad, mainly. Looking at the damage wise, Elbing did a hell of a lot of damage to us. Poison did a pretty good amount of damage to us, and the Room did a pretty good amount of damage to us. You know, as far as floods, you know, we got basically almost 100, 240 in floods, and then another 200,000 in HE damage, and then our torpedoes did 152k. But a very good game, and really helpful on the grind to the Yodo. But that's Takahashi, a really good ship, but overall a glass cannon, a huge glass cannon.